Welcome to another episode, another season with my first guest on Good Energy Squad podcast. Bienvenida, mi vida, Vita Galore. What a name. Can you tell us a little bit about that name, please? I'm so interested.
Oh, thank you, Pauline. Yes. So I created this name for myself because I realized with the journey I've had in my life, a lot of tragedy and triumph, that I wanted a name that was fitting for where I reinvented myself. And Vita means life in Italian, and galore means abundance. And so, my mission in these chapters now of healing and health and wellness is living abundantly from the inside out, hence Vita Galore.
Wow, so you created this name for yourself. Did you legally changed it?
It's not legal, no, but it is what I use on all of my campaigns, all of my socials. And when I do public speaking about familial trafficking, this is the name that I headline with. And it also is, like good for me to kind of protect my identity from, the trafficking world.
Not only is that super smart, I'm going to tell you something. You mentioned the word alignment, which I'm a huge believer as a life coach, how you align with things in your life. And even your name does not fit your personality. And not only your name, it could be your clothes. When you go change your hair, you jump into another quantum or another lifetime and highest timelines. People think they got to be stuck in this past or personalities or traumas that made us. No, 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 no. That was just part of you. You have to keep becoming somebody
Mm.
else, right? In order to remember who you truly are. And sometimes we get trapped to a name or to situations. How long have you been using Vida? Because I love you. I've been calling you Mi Vida, by the way, by text message without knowing that was really your meaning on this. I really
I
thought this
love
was your real name, by the way.
it is my real name.
Yeah, it's like it's full of life.
Yeah, because I created it. But I have been using it since I came out with my story, which was in 2017, so almost a decade ago.
Okay, you want to know something's crazy? Because I believe in synchronicities. I have my little infinity here and like crystals and everything and the manifestation Bible quote.
Mm,
I changed my life in 2017. 2017 was the year I chose Thanksgiving to quit drinking
mm,
forever,
mm,
overnight, after thousands of rehabs. So that you're telling me you gave yourself this name in 2017, you were also going through a transformation, correct?
mhm. Yes, very big transformation. I was coming out of the so-called shame closet.
That is something I am so excited to talk about you because a lot of women and men live in shame of their past when you should embrace it. Anything bad that happened to you, I don't want to say it as a blessing, but it awakened you. It made you grow as a person. Why are we hiding it?
Mm.
I
Well, we
I
hide it. Yeah, it's hidden because, society puts that stigma on you if you're not so-called perfect or you don't have this, idyllic life that something's wrong with you.
Absolutely nothing's wrong with anybody. Those are just stages of life. That's how I tell them. And it's meant for preparation. I talked about it with the person I sent you the podcast, so you had an idea. My Annabelle or Isabel, she's a neuroscience like me. And she said, I feel kind of not bad for people that really have a very mellow life when nothing bad happened to them because there's really no awakening there. There's really no, and I'm not saying I wish trauma on anyone, but trauma really makes you see the worst and also appreciate the best and become even better.
Mm,
Have
mm.
you thought of that?
Yes.
Have you ever seen people that is like, oh, my life is perfect, my parents is perfect, everything's perfect, and you really never see everything is like a line. It's like, are you
Yeah, it's
even
just
real?
flat line.
Yes. I like
Mhm.
that. I like ups and downs. I like roller coasters. I like feeling. Now, for people to understand, for me to understand when you said you had to come out of the closet and shame is very important that you tell us. that story because she's in Arizona, by the way. And just so you know, really quick on how we met, she's actually related to everybody knows Anita, my superstar photographer, bestie, little mini me of energy. Me, she's the only one that can match me, and she speaks wonderful about you. And I'm just glad that you guys had that connection that brought us to us connecting, but we don't know your story. She didn't tell us your story. So this is your space. This is your time to tell us, to us here in the South and Europe and wherever I'm getting listened to, who you are and what happened to you that you became full of life now.
Oh, yeah. And even with that, it's peaks and valleys. Some days I'm full of life and some days I'm not.
Thank you for saying that, because yeah, where there's good, there's also bad. Yes, I don't
Yeah.
promote toxic. I don't promote toxic positivity. I don't. So that's great that you acknowledge that. But when was that low? When was that darkness part of your life that made you, or but almost break you? Right? It makes you or breaks you.
Mm. Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of this trauma happened when I was very young. And, I think the way we go about life, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, coming out of a very long term trauma, my immediate instinct was survival. How do I get back on my feet? How do I survive? Because I'm on my own and I can't really invest time in healing all that trauma because I'm just, trying to go forward and be kind of normal. I mean, that was the way my thinking was as a young adolescent. So, to be quite honest, the reason I came out in 2017 is because it was in my like mid 40s that I could actually kind of resonate with what had happened to me, like kind of catch up with it because I wasn't, pushing a daily work grind. I had a lot of time to just kind of be with my thoughts. And of course, all of it started, just rushing in like a river, all the memories that I had suppressed. But, I speak about this trauma on public stages because I'm very much now an advocate to raise awareness of trafficking. There's all kinds of trafficking. There's, sex trafficking, there's worker trafficking. So there's distinctions. Mine particularly is familial trafficking. So, it started when my mom, at the time, it's no longer a third world country, but Peru was very developing in the 70s. And she wanted to get out of Peru. She met an American man and they got married on like his spring break. He was there in Peru in the jungle in a little town called Terapoto. Um, and they met, and it was like this crazy fast wedding. And then he went back to school and he realized, oh my gosh, like, what was I doing? I married this woman in the jungle. I don't really know her. Well, at that point, she was pregnant with me. So when my father, my biological father, found out, he sent her divorce papers. He didn't want really anything to do with that I guess moment of his life. And he was young, probably like 21 years old. He had to finish his senior year and move on with his life. So I think, my mom, I can definitely say she has some mental issues, but even in that mental fragile state, she knew she wanted to have me born in the US because I would have the most, I guess, opportunity to kind of thrive. Whereas where she lived in the Amazon small town, she knew that my options would be limited. So thankfully, she did have the will and the capacity to come to the US. I was born in Florida. Fast forward, trying to condense the story a bit. My mom was very desperate. She barely spoke the language here. She wasn't able to find like adequate work to really, sustain what she needed for her and I. So I think in her mind, it was like, well, I just need to marry a man and someone who will help take care of us. And so she ended up marrying my stepfather. And, I just think her judgment was very skewed because of her mental issues. And she married a very violent man. By the time I was 5, they started sexually grooming me. They took me to, they no longer exist, but there used to be drive-in theaters and you'd go and park your car and watch theater movie on a big screen with all other lineup of cars, And they used to put me in the trunk of their car to sneak me in because they took me to like these X-rated adult movies. And they were, letting me see this content so that when my stepfather started sexually abusing me, I felt like it was normal and okay. So, I lived in that environment from the age of 5 until I was 13. Thankfully, my mom did try to escape at that point, but she had two children with the stepfather, and she just felt, I feel like, kind of rooted now in the relationship because now she's got two more children to support. She cannot do it. So she was just in a really bad place. Fortunately, my aunt, who is her sister, and my uncle, they saw what was going on. They could see clearly. I didn't notice it as much, even though I felt things were wrong. My mom, she condoned everything that happened in the house. So my aunt and uncle told her that if she did not allow me to stay with them, she would have been reported, as well as my stepfather, to Child Protective Services. They became very nervous about it, and they just like left me in Florida, where my aunt and uncle were. And I never went back to the house. I never really saw my brothers, my half brothers. So I was on my own really since the time I was 13. My aunt and uncle, they had four children of their own. So they were not financially like really able to help me that way, but they gave me like a place to stay, food. So, essential things. But, since that point, I really have been kind of creating my own and funding my own life. But with all that said, it cascades into your future when you don't resolve that at your very young age, which for me wasn't an option in my mind. I didn't have the resources. I didn't have the time. I had to work. So at that age in my middle life, really, I could really take the time and go down that tunnel, and it was really scary because then it started answering a lot of questions about why I chose certain things, why I did certain things, behaviors.
Behaviors. Oh, you stole that word. Mhm.
hmm And fortunately, Pauline, at that point, I had remarried. This is my second marriage, and I married a very supportive, I would say non-toxic, loving man that gave me that space and the resource to really heal my life. But it's been really hard because there's been a lot of physical damage done to my body as a child. I never had children. I still have like chronic fatigue from all the stress that I had as a child from that fight or flight I lived in. My adrenals, are taxed. My endocrine system is still healing. Parts of me never developed. So, abuse is like a lifelong sentence. And I'm not saying that as like, there's no hope, but it does take a dedication and a willingness to like move yourself forward.
It's incredible. Your story's incredible because it sounds, as you were telling it, I was visualizing. I'm a huge visualizer and I have to like see it to physically like put myself in your shoes a little bit. Because that's what I do in my therapist. And it's a horror movie. You literally lived a horror movie as a child. And you don't know you were in it because it was normal. It was taught to you that it was normal. Behaviors were okay. And then you grow up and then interact with other adults and realize, oh shit, I did not have a normal childhood. Turns out, that's when you realize because you don't know if something is not okay when the people that are supposed to protect you were the ones that were hurting you.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that's what hurts the most, right? Because if you don't trust your parents, who the fuck do you trust? You're 5. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have that is literally when a child is in the most innocent age and when really they don't have free will. After that, God, of course, gives us free will, 15, 18, 17. You know what the fuck you're doing. Even if you tell me you're a teenager, I knew what I was doing when I was doing sex, drugs, whatever I did. It was you're a little bit more aware. But when you're a child under 11, anything in that age, you're definitely should be taken care of in a way, any kind of way. It could not be a fantastic way, but you are literally following whatever they tell you, an adult. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's I don't even think sorry is a word that applies here for what happened to you. Is an experience that only you, like you said, abuse doesn't go away in any way. It never goes away. It's always going to live with you. And you're very strong. And I tell people all the time, because my awakening was at 39 too, when I started also the same thing happened to me, remembering that, oh shit, literally I had the worst too life prior to my parents dying. This whole time I thought that my life was bad after both of my parents died, and I was, or lost both of my parents at 11. But the real hell was from 11, from birth to 11. Those are the years that don't come back until you're 40. So your 40-year-old self, it's always going to be your 7-year-old self. And I had to study this, how you process that later. And I tell people now with children on that age, you're creating a 40-year-old version of your kids right now when they're in this age. This is what they're going to remember when they're 40. That's what I'm going through right now. And it's all coming back to me at this age because I had processed the partying, I had processed the working era. I had a couple of failure relationships. Now you're married, and when you find peace, that's when everything creeped out, right? When you finally sit down with your demons in the dark,
Mm-hmm.
when you finally felt safe.
Oh
It,
yeah, so true, and that's what my counselors have said, that your body, your mind, your spirit would not allow you to go there until you felt safe.
Thank you. Yes. And I'm very blessed as well to be married with an amazing man that gave me this safety and the opportunity to really be myself and do things for me. Because when you're constantly doing something for others, and you're constantly performing for society, and you're constantly wearing a mask, and you're constantly trying to fight yourself, flight and fight mode to be the prettiest, the smartest, grow up in your career, have the much money, you don't ever take time to realize that the only thing that matters is how you feel and how you spend your day doing things that bring you joy, um, treating people right. The little things, right? That we forget somewhere along the way to live, to have a good life, to live in abundance, to live.
Yes, it's
It's true.
true. I mean, at least I can speak for myself. I feel like the world, I got sucked into the world because I wanted the world to say, she's fine, nothing's wrong, nothing happened to her. So, I prescribed to all the things the world said I needed to do or be, but that hole, that cavity was still there.
Yeah. No, no, no. Your demons are not going away. I keep telling people that I have dreams. Like they don't go away. You just learn how to walk through life with them in a way
Mhm.
that they can no longer hurt you. Because if you don't talk to them or do the shadow work, that you seem to put a lot of work on yourself. And this is that people don't think, oh, but you have a wonderful husband. Your life is so easy. No, honey, this piece, I manifested it because of all this work that I had to do on the back. If you did
Mhm.
not started your journey in 2017 of healing and speaking out like me became sober, it would have continued. It would have just repeated itself. It would have not gotten better if we didn't break that loop. But nobody else helped us. Is because we helped ourselves that everything around us changed. And that's what I teach everybody, to believe in themselves and be themselves, because that's the key, right? Somewhere along the way, I'm sure you felt like you were not worthy.
Totally. Yeah. Like, who am I to be okay or to heal? Like, why me? I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like when you live in a toxicity, especially as a child, it's even harder to distinguish, that you're worthy, because when your parents tell you you're not,
Right,
then
when they don't
you,
love you.
yeah, it's like, well, if they can't tell me that, why am I going to believe anyone else?
And it turns out nobody had to love you but yourself. That's like
Mhm.
the hardest pill to swallow, right? Oh my God, everybody's looking for their friends to like them. My husband better buy me a Valentine's gift. Buy yourself, make yourself feel worthy, make yourself feel loved, and then you'll attract more of that. You are you attract what you are, not what you want. It's simple as that. It sounds very simple, and still we're still seeking for that happiness outside of us. How many times have you gotten something that you really, really want physically, materialistically, and then it just lasts maybe a week if you really like something, but then you're off into the next thing. It doesn't last, right? That when it's when it's a material thing. I love good things. I love a good life. I love abundance, but it doesn't bring me as much joy as doing things that make me happy, like an
Mhm.
experience or a feeling. What is a perfect day on Vita's life? Let's say that. What brings you the most joy these days after everything you've been through? And I'm sure you've had it all and lost it all and had to work hard for it, and then now it's easy. Whatever it is you're living in, what is a good day for you today as a healed person?
Yeah, as today, for me, it's like being able to wake up when I want to wake up, and then I read. I read a lot of like devotionals. I read inspirational things. I read scriptures. I read the Bible. I just read whatever like excites me that day. I mean, I am religious, but I'm very expansive. I'm not, held to one kind of thing. So um, I love to be around my animals. I feel like my cats were very instrumental in helping me heal.
Yes, they're very
So
spiritual, just so you know.
yeah. Yeah, they're
Super
very
spiritual.
spiritual. I feel like they've been a part of my transformation, to be honest. So
Okay.
I spend time just kind of lounging, going outside, seeing the sun first thing in the morning, drinking my hot lemon water, then my coffee, and I take my cats out. So I just feel like, I don't even turn my phone on until I've done all that stuff because I don't want the world to have access to me until I've grounded myself.
Please write this down to all my life coach clients that I force them to do a morning routine. 5 minutes is all I ask them to do. The first 5 minutes of your day. Do not touch your phone as soon as you wake up because your brain is in theta waves and what you put on it goes straight to your subconscious. So if you wake up to a
Mhm.
bad news, a text, work, an email that immediately is going to worry you, your day done immediately. So those 5 minutes are sacred before your conscious mind wakes up, then you can feed good things to your neural pathways. Talking about books that I'm terrible at reading, but because I'm doing school at GCU, Grand Canyon University. Hi, I might go to Arizona to graduate with you. And
I
it's on
love
trauma.
that.
Yeah, and specialty on trauma. I want to help people like you and I that had to heal our traumas to heal, but like professionally in a mental health because I've been to psychologists, therapies, rehab, and really nothing helps. So I want to create something that I understand people's behaviors and why they act that way, and then I can relate and then give them the tools.
Mm,
But
yeah,
also, I am very connected with spirituality and universe and support that we get from the other side of your soul. So this book, it's life changing, The Journey of Souls. Paola, which is one of our best friends, me and Anita, finished it. So she handed down, and she's on the following one. There's a series. Definitely look into it because it will explain why, in a way, why your soul kind of had to go through that, and maybe other stuff that you might live because you believe in souls, right? You believe that this is not a one-time trip. Do you believe
right.
in reincarnating?
That's a good question. I want to believe that that
Mhm.
happens. I don't really know. I was just having that conversation with my husband last night. I said, when I reincarnate, I want to come into a life where I have loving family and siblings, which I don't have in this life. Really have no close family, and that makes me sad. And he said, you're not going to reincarnate, and I was like, I don't know, maybe.
You will. No, you will. If you read this book, it will tell you if your purpose on earth is not finished, you will reincarnate. I'm hope this is my last one, so I'm trying to do everything right. It is my numerology number 9, so I hope this is my 9 lives, like the cats, and I hope I get it right because we all have purpose in life. It's just finding what your purpose is. I had to detach from society like you did. I dropped my 12 years of corporate and said, you know what? This is God itself telling me, God Energy Squad, go spread your light. Go do good in the world. Go go shine so bright that everybody, it sparks something on them. And that's what I'm doing. It's not about me. That's like a squad. This is not me. This is everybody that is ready to choose themselves. And that brings me more joy and purpose than a paycheck. And I
Mm,
mean, I wish I could do it for free, but that's why I have my fitness clothes that you'll see when you get here. Eventually, I do a lot of foster kids, girls, because like yourself, there's so many little girls out there and men, kids that are in the system just bouncing around, getting abused, getting left out by their parents. And I got to do that on Valentine's. I teach this girl self-love. We got a group of people of apothecary, holistic wellness, a yoga instructor, and we provided them. I gave them a vision board and gave them hope. If something you and I can do for the rest of our lives, because thank God we don't have to work hard. It's thank you to our
yeah,
provider husbands.
I
Huge
know.
shout out.
Thank you.
We love you guys.
Yes, huge shout out.
Huge shout out. Yeah, show him to this podcast. Like, men are providers, and I'm huge in divine feminine. I teach all of my females, stop trying to be an alpha female, stop trying to do it all. It's cool and all, but then guess what? You're divine feminine. You're here to heal the world. You give life. You and I, let me tell you, confess this, I was also one of those that unfortunately never got to experience to be a mom. So this is my baby. My Rottweiler is my baby, and my husband's my baby, and a whole squad of amazing women and friends, and my nieces and nephews that I adopted from all of my best friends are my family. So don't ever, as of today, Vita, I don't want you to say you don't have siblings and family, because I created this so you can have a family. So we
Mm,
are your chosen family, the people that are here for you moving forward, that
I love
accept.
that.
Yes,
Yes,
you.
it's like it's literally a prayer answered because last night I was crying about it. I just felt like I go in waves. I'm pretty like, resistant. I'm very positive and strong. But yeah, yesterday it hit me. I was watching this series and I saw family and that dynamic of a loving mother and a father, which I never had. And I'm like, I really got gypped, but I know there's a purpose, right? And now I'm talking to you and I realize you have the good energy squad and you have a family that is, there for people.
Yes, yes, and I'm telling you, the first time I met Anita, she was like, "You're spending Thanksgiving at my house," and there I was, forcing my husband to go there, and it felt nice because I never celebrated those things or never knew what a holiday was. It was my first time having a cake at 36 because I never had that as a child either. Little things
Mm,
that these friends that I met in my adulthood, like you and I meeting, is something that you call in the universe that you're ready to receive the reciprocation and things that you've been manifesting that you didn't have. You're not dual. We can literally create the childhood we didn't have now, and surrounded by friends that are not gonna bully us or make fun of us or compare who has what or the best parents, because when we're adults. So it's even
mhm.
better. You get to pick who you hang out with, and it's usually, I mean, honest, it's not always blood. It's not, doesn't
Mhm.
have to be real blood. Do you say you have zero communications with your stepbrothers or half brothers?
Yes, yeah, no communication. I mean, it's a very, I think, sensitive thing for them because they're very close to my mom and, of course, their father, my stepfather. And because I talked about the abuse and
Of
I
course.
wanted to, like clear up the air and, put I guess, the dirty laundry out for, our family to, deal with they're not there, they're not able to mentally do it, so we've just very much become estranged.
And that's fine. That's fine. I took the same thing. I took the step up. I mean, I got on a TEDx stage and told my story. And I know the one that probably felt it the most was my sister that experienced all of the things we did when we were little, because everybody else was grown. So it was me and her that had to live those horrible nights. And I know she immediately saw it, and I didn't know how she was going to react, because I know she lived it, but she doesn't talk about it. She won't even go back town. She hates going back town. I go every year, Vita. I make it a point to go back to that house where I suffer the most, where I have the worst memories, and give it love and give it love because I studied this. I need to create a new memory in a place that
Mhm.
took all of my happiness and make it a good one. And I enjoy. She just cannot step foot even in the city. If she goes for 2 hours and goes back to her town. She completely, that's her processing, right? That's her grief. That's how she wants to move forward. I had to talk about it, let it out, live it, relieve it as many times, and like you yesterday. And I do think a lot of people, and there's always that people that are like, oh, you didn't have kids, you don't want kids. It's not my path. It used to bother me, but not anymore. I'm very okay with that decision. I mean, I'm 42. I look fantastic. I'm not changing diapers. I don't have to. I mean, I look at all the good things. You ain't
Mhm.
convincing me. For a moment, I did wish because you and I guarantee you would have done the best job as moms because of how we had for moms, right? Or whatever childhood.
Mhm.
My mom was great. She just died and had a very horrible upbringing, right? Mexican dad. Normal. Beat the shit out of her every day. But it's like normal. Here to me all this stuff is normal stuff. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like we would have not repeated the pattern with our children. But it wasn't meant for us. Now I accepted it.
Yeah.
Ex-
No, you're right. I honestly, I look back and I'm torn, but I really know in my heart that it is a blessing in disguise. I didn't have children because in that age time when I could have had them, I don't even know if I could have, honestly, because I couldn't with my first husband.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of just trauma in my body from a child. But either way, I wouldn't have had the mental capacity to like rear a child. I would have probably imposed a lot of that on the child. So now I look back and I think, you know what, this life journey I've been given was to heal me completely, and I wasn't able to give. And now I can give, but I'll give to others, like other children and animals, and it's okay, it
No,
all
you're
works out.
giving a lot here to the community. That's why I'm a huge. I'm into this community service huge because our story it's actually helping those that feel lost and if one person listens to us and be like, oh wow, I hear that so commonly. It's so sad only because people trust me that there's a lot of abuse in the family as and there or even the nanny abuse. I had a guest that confessed to me that on a podcast and that was the last thing I was expecting, but she just felt safe and I'm sure she was holding that in here, but this space opened for her to actually set it. She said even her parents didn't know that happened. Imagine being a grown adult and you never mentioned, by the way, the nanny was raping me, but then you come into my podcast and she felt empowered to say it. That's
Wow.
incredible. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like if we can create a safe space for people to not feel us not number one judge because that's the last thing we want to feel. Don't feel sorry for us either. That's what I
Mhm.
said. I don't think me telling you I'm sorry for what happened to you is going to make you feel any better cuz being a victim is not what we wanted to be. We would never we don't want you to feel sorry for us for what happened. We want you to see us and be like, inspire, see hope. Because if we
Mhm.
kept going, you can't too, no matter what it is happening.
Yeah, it's so true. And we get to choose. I realize that a lot of my family members have chose to be victims. And
Mm.
I realize like I can choose that story and live that life out, or I can be a victor and I can just chart a new path. And that's what I chose to do.
You clearly did because you became life. You became an abundant life. And people forget, and you read the scriptures, which I'm super connected with spirituality and everything. How I pray has to do with quantum. I had to mix everything to know what is going on. And now astrology has to do the planets, the Bible, God, universe, and the divine. They're all connected, and your brain. And it's all through your brain, which is crazy because you create, not only you create life, you're creating with God and you became life itself. And I tell people, why don't you feel worthy of everything that you desired? If God tells you to believe it and you will receive it, just be grateful. And you're only the fact that you're alive, uh, you know, Abundance is a birthright. It's not your last name, it's not your parents. It's if you are a breathing, living thing, you're
Mm-hmm.
abundant.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I always like to start breathing because people forget to breathe. They forget to
Mm-hmm.
breathe. It's a reminder of how air and, like you said, the sun going out to hit up that cortisol. And we're humans. We're like iPhones. You have to charge in the sun and the moon and the grass. That's where God. That's God. That's the things that were made. Or whoever you believe in. It's the. I mean, who created this? For the love of God. If you don't believe in God, where did this come from? Go out there and spend more time, and you start believing in something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know. I'm on your train, Pauline. I like it. You get it. And what's exciting is you're so young to like be
42.
this, huh?
42, 42 is young. I look young, but
Yes. You're very young to like
how
be
old are
this
you? How old
this
are you? What's 25?
knowledgeable. Oh gosh, I stopped counting at 52, but
No way you're
I
older than this. Than
I'm
24.
older. Huh?
No way you're older than 28.
Yeah, right. 28 for like the whatever 28th time. I've definitely trailed the life. But yeah, I feel like you're in a great space because knowledge is power, and because you know all this and you're helping others at this age, I didn't even start digging into my stuff really like deeply until I was 45. So it's a journey and you're way ahead of like I just love that the generations, get smarter and clearer about healing, and you're definitely like trailing as a trailblazer. It's very inspiring.
Well, it's because I'm paying attention, which I didn't do for years. I was paying attention to the noise and not to myself. You hear that
Mm,
key? Inward. We're outward 24/7. I always bring myself back, but I have an amazing squad. I have a tantric healer that is 22. When you meet her, when you come here, you'll be like, wow, this lady's 85 in knowledge, but she's 22 in body. So it's like they
mhm,
bring me back. Like you can, you're not alone. And I'm not saying you can't do this alone, but Vita, you can get this back with me. That's why we have amazing husbands that support us. Wouldn't it be better if you had a group of people that each have a gift or a lending hand or a positive, like, thank you for that compliment, that will help you get out of the darkness.
mm.
You
Yeah,
know?
the community is everything. And that's why, well, you have a squad, but I see it as a community, like
Yeah,
you,
it
you
is.
are, you're creating it.
Because we need each other. Like, we were not hearing this thing. You're gonna tell me we have a billion people and we cannot help each other. I want to go back to, and then that podcast I sent you with Isabella, she's like, Pauline has it all figured out. I want to get rid of money because money's not real. I want to go back to the time where it was all an exchange, because
Mm,
you can be really good at something, right? Let's say, and then and I'll just put it simple. You make bread and I have ham. If we made a sandwich, we're both nourished. We're both eating protein and carbs. Then we meet somebody with a garden. Now we're having salads. It's like, if we could all help each other, we could get rid
mm,
of so many things, like, laws and etc. If we can just help each other with what we have. And sometimes it's just knowledge. Sometimes it's just a smile. Sometimes it's just your good energy, but it's helping with what you have. Others, like help your neighbor, like it's in the Bible, little things. Then we get rid of all that stuff that became consuming, the
mhm.
consumption. Like when everybody wants to have a car or have the most money, but they don't share the wealth. I don't understand that process. Before, when there was no money, I feel like everybody was a community again.
Right. No, no, it's true. Like, capitalism happened and the mindset changed, but bartering, like you said, that's what brought people to work together.
Right. And then what happens? Like, I tell people all the time that think that money's hard to get. Well, what happened in COVID? You couldn't even go out and spend your money. So, to me, if you have a $5 bill right now with you in your hand that you can smell it, that's real money. You can
Mhm.
have all the zeros you want in your account. But tomorrow, there's an outage, there's something, they wipe on your account. You're poor, baby. And guess
Right.
who's rich? Guess who's rich? The person with the $5 on her hand is gonna be able to go buy a can of food. I literally think for the best, but prepare for the worst kind of girl. And like make it has to make logic to me because for a long time, it's not how much you have, it's how much you make with what you have.
Mhm. So true. And I agree. Like, I got caught up in that materialistic world and I thought that it gave me a purpose or a definition or a platform, made me special. And that's when I was the loneliest, you know?
Mhm. Isn't that crazy? And the most unhappy too, because people are only close to you for what you have and not for who you are. And I don't want people to get in my yet that I'm buying, by the way, for sure. Manifesting it, me and Anita. They
Oh.
didn't like me when I didn't have it. Does it make sense?
Totally. I love that because, yeah, it's your people that make that meaningful when you get that, the people that were with you. So I love that you see people. I feel like that is a gift to see people. I'm very present to everyone every day because I want them to be seen, heard, acknowledged. And I feel like that's the good vibe, the love, the healing that we give to people.
That's the biggest blessing because you can give somebody $100, but if you tell them, if you ask them how their day is going, or give them a compliment, that to me is worth more than $100. Because how many times we go past someone in the grocery and you might, I mean, I don't pay attention to what people wear. I'm like that. I grew up with two brothers, but sometimes we just look at the shoes, think they're nice, but we don't say it.
Hmm.
Oh, breaks my heart because what if they spend all their savings in that pair of shoes or somebody gives them them? They really want to tell nobody, but they have nobody to tell them. And then they have nobody to tell them good news because everybody say, or don't want them to do good in life. Or they have somebody that you can't even tell things like you and I can talk so easily because there's this good energy and trust and healing that we did. And then you're holding this terrible dark secret your whole life. Imagine. And I have people that can be married with someone and they don't even know who they married because they forgot who they were. I don't want people to forget where and it's not forget where you come from because I could forget like where. And I'm not saying I'm better than that. It's about forgiveness of what happened to you first and then move forward. But never like put it away. Like don't underrate things to feel better.
Absolutely. Being very honest about what you are, who you are, and what you enjoy, and making that compliment if you're inspired to tell someone, like that's very powerful and it's free. We can express ourselves and be the gift.
Yeah, no, your presence is your essence. I keep telling everybody. So make sure that when you're out there interacting with us, like you can be a Grinch in your home. I charge in the tub. I'm not saying I'm mean or anything. Maybe to my husband a little bit sometimes, but they had to deal with both of her. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. Then
Yes,
when you
yes.
were having this mental breakdown, who was there, right? But also, but when you leave, you're talking to a stranger or someone, if you can be kind a little bit and like be present, that is the essence of every human because people forgot this took away from a lot of that. I'm being honest.
Mm, mm.
Phones have taken a lot from human interactions and bonds.
Absolutely. And that's why I try to make it a point to compliment someone, say hello, look at them in the eyes, acknowledge them, wave, say hi, smile. I don't care. Just put something out there, that's like tangible that they can
Human.
feel. Yeah,
Yes,
human.
and I imagine you get everybody nervous because everybody is like, "What is this crazy bitch want?" Because I'm always saying something crazy to random people. They're like, "Yep, she's gonna hug you," and I rub off everywhere. My first impression, I'm that friend. They said she's their friend and she's crazy because I'm going to tell you something way inappropriate That's just who I am. That's my personality. I'm probably gonna hate on you if you're a female with beautiful tits and ass, because I love complimenting women that take care of themselves. To me, that is the
Mhm.
highest self of respect. I'm not gonna put you down because you look better than me, baby. I'm going to uplift you because I want to look like you. I want to see you at your best. A friend, a person, a human that does not see you with those eyes of love and admiration should not be in your life.
Absolutely, doll. You're so right. I'm part of your good energy squad. I understand and I agree.
Like, what you mean you don't like me because I'm glowing? Bye, bitch.
Bye
if
bye.
you if you can't handle this light, bye. Or like if you don't want to support me, I am in this I in this year, and Vita, I'm telling you because you're very as well knowledgeable and heal. 2026 is the fire horse year. Is year one of nine. We just finished the year of the snake, which I think it makes perfect sense. You and I are meeting now in this new year where we're setting foundations, where we're starting a new karmic cycle, and we want to do it right. We want to do the right things for the right people. For keyword, we want to help everybody, but we can't help everybody that doesn't want to help themselves. And sometimes
Mhm.
we overgive. So I
Mhm.
had to, because the way we grew up, we wanted help, right? So
Mhm.
now we're in this mission of give all the help, but also learn they don't want my help. And I have to choose myself to where I'm not pouring too much into people that would never even pour back at me once. And it's not that I want anything in return, but like my tattoo says, infinity means reciprocity. It has to
Mm.
be some reciprocity. And it doesn't have to be equal because not everybody can provide the same amount of water out of their cups. It's only as how full they are. But at least be somehow good around me as well. I don't know how to explain it. How do you maintain a relationship? Like imagine if you're being super nice to someone and they continue to be mean to you. Why would I continue to be nice to you? Does it make sense? I did
Oh
it for
yeah.
years.
No, yeah, it's reciprocity. It's like being mindful. Like you said, you some people can't give as much as you give, but it's really about the respect, to be kind and present to you, and to at least ask, like, what can I do for you?
Thank you. What can I do for you? Or is there something that I can reciprocate in a way that you give so much? Or I really appreciate all you do for me, but I don't know how to express myself. I feel like a lot of people have that problem with me because I do things out loud and I do things without being asked. As that's who I am. I'm an action person. I'm loud, but I'm also an action person. And then nobody knows what the fuck to do with all that because humanity does not know how to accept good in their lives. Isn't that
Hmm.
crazy?
Hmm.
Some
I
people see
know.
you weird when you. Some people see you weird when you're nice.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's always been part of my life when I was nice, even as a younger person. People would always question that your motives or like something's wrong with you. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, we got to change the world's thinking here, Not that I'm like, I'm going to force anybody, but I'm going to still be me. And if you can't handle it, then so be it. Let's just move on.
It's crazy how it's so hard to have a high frequency vibration. It really, really, really makes people like freeze a little
Yeah.
bit. Or like,
And it can make people uncomfortable. Like I make a lot of people uncomfortable,
that's because
because I
you're
am
super hot.
so,
So hot. You're so
oh
hot.
yeah, I'm super hot.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna call us MILFs because we are parents of pets. We're
Oh,
definitely MILFs.
you're right.
You're a
Even with
SILF.
cats, I could be a
Cat
MILF.
mom. Cat mom I like to fuck. And I am oh yeah, you can cuss on my podcast. And I am a dog
I
mom.
love that.
I'm a DILF, a dog mom I like to fuck. Cause yeah,
Oh,
we are in that age, girl. We're totally cougarinas.
cougarinas. I never heard that word, but I love it. Let's keep that word going.
Hide your kids. I'm just kidding. No, no, no. The 20, I have a limit, 35 and up, please. The collagen, I don't need that much collagen. And that's because my husband is past that age. Is your husband older or younger than you, Vita?
No, he's older. Yeah, he's in his mid. Actually, no, he's in his late 60s. So And he
Oh,
doesn't look it though. Like, honestly, age is attitude and how you eat, how you take care of yourself. You know, he works out 5 days a week, an hour and
wow.
a half a day. Like, he's very disciplined. So you can hack your longevity. I mean, I'm hacking too with peptides and injectables, all kind, you know, like NAD, like natural, resources. But yeah, we're gonna live forever. You know, only the good die young. So I'm gonna be here for a long ass time.
That's right, because the world needs us. The world needs our story. It needs our energy. It needs our healing powers. I think that's the more valuable than anything. I feel like 2026 people are awakening to something bigger than just what they see on TV or who is what. I think energy is 1000% real. Is you can't tell me right now, oh, Pauline, you're this, but I can know if it's true or not. You can sense when someone has bad intentions now. I think people are getting more into how people really feel instead of what they do, what they say or how they act. Because back in the day, and you're luckily can vouch this from me, before phones or anything, you were important or you matter only when you were last name, either rich. We grew up in sport southern countries. I mean, Mexico was where I was raised, even though I was born in Texas, like you, born in America, but I was still raised in a very poor country in a very poor way. You had to be either had a very good last name, be in a private school, have to have some type of money to be important. If not, your opinion never mattered.
Hmm.
You were not even considered for a position in anything in power or open doors or surround yourself in a golf club if you were not part of the clan. But now I don't think that matters anymore. I mean, to me, I tell this to rich guys or people all the time that I see. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck what you drive. I don't give a fuck how much money you make. I give a fuck how you treat yourself and others. That's it. And the energy and the vibe that you give me. That's all. Because what you can do for me is not financially. My journey here is way bigger than monetary.
Amen. Yeah. And that's a new conversation that is just starting to happen, recently. So keep that going.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so. I think people are awakening and they just want to be around people that make them feel good. Now they're feeling like, I don't need to be next to this mean girl just because she's buying me clothes or because she's the it girl. Fuck you. I'm like, no. I'm really the person and I'm very proud of myself because at first I was trying to really put myself out there and be me in a very loving way. And I forgot about my gangster self. And that gangster self from my high school days and 20s is what made me survive a lot of bad things. And I feel like in this spiritual goodness world, we still have to be a little gangster. We have to be spiritual gangster, or people will suck up our energy like leeches.
Mhm. Absolutely. And lots of boundaries.
Boundaries. So saying no to something you really don't want to do is saying yes to yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And I do it every day. And I have no guilt. And I revel in my boundaries. And if, that's just how it's gonna be.
It's your life. And I said this to every single one of my life coach clients that I hope they're listening because you're going to learn a lot from Vita. She's full of life. And I can't wait to look like you, hopefully, at your age. And when I start doing my morning shots and continue radiating light and healing. But I tell them, when someone tells you life is not about you, then who the fuck is it? Who is my life about? Please tell me. Please tell me, Vita. If my life is not about me, who is my life about?
Well, it starts with you, and then you choose to radiate out to the world.
Thank you. So make your life all about you and what you want to
Mhm.
do, and the
Right.
rest will follow.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if it's not you, you're going to get swept away by everyone else. And then you're still not going to be, I feel like, proficient. You're not going to be achieving. You're not going to be living the life that you want. You have to live for you.
Exactly. Live for yourself, choose yourself, and then everything else will choose you. Because when you put yourself first, it's not being selfish. I don't like being a selfish person, but if I'm okay, everything around me is okay.
Yeah, Pauline, but what if it's selfless? Like you can be selfless. Like
Yeah,
it's
selfless
all
is
about,
great. Yeah,
yeah.
selfish
I,
no.
I mean, selfish doesn't bother me because if you're going to tell me I'm selfish because I have boundaries, because I do what I need
Mm,
to do, because I take care of myself, then I'm happy to be selfish. Go ahead,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine.
Because that's our perception, and I tell everybody, your perception is deception. Like whatever perception, I can't change how you see me.
Right.
I can only see you from my eyes and my mirror, and I can tell you right now, I love this mirror that I'm seeing, which is you, because I attracted you into my reality. Believe it or not,
Mm.
through Anita. Oh, big shout out to Anita. Hi, Anita.
Primita, Primita, Anita.
Are you guys really cousins, or is one of those things that I call everybody my cousin?
I believe we're like
No,
third cousins. We're not like very, immediate, but we're
no, I
somewhere.
don't
We're
know because
linked.
you guys
We're
look
linked.
alike. You guys are twins. You guys could be twins.
I love that. Yeah,
No, I'm being sarcastic, but she knows me.
she, we're both quirky and just weird, funny, and I think that's part of our cousin connection.
I think we're all sisters, spiritual sisters, what I told her and a couple of other friends that I have very blessed to have in my reality. I will take this space to thank all of them in my life. I'm very happy with everybody that I see and talk to, and every day you know who you are, male and female. They're all for the Good Energy Squad. They fill me up. I mean, I will take 3 hours naming all of them, which is amazing that I people are just so supportive. I love to see that side of people. I love to bring that out of people, and I love to have them see them shine on their own so bright.
Well, the work you're doing will, continue to bring shine into the world, into like the galaxies, into the stratosphere,
Universal. Yes.
skies.
And
You're
everywhere.
you're explosive everywhere.
Oh no, wait, that's the yeah, titties. I love titties too. I don't know why. I love this. Mine are fake. Are yours?
Mine are fake too.
Okay, good. See, we're fake titty sisters now. We have so much in common. Who knew? Well,
Girl.
I could talk to you forever, but I know you gotta go, and I gotta go see your cousin. And is there anything else, Vita, from the bottom of your heart that you would like for my audience or anybody out there that might tune into this podcast that you want to say to them?
Oh, well, thank you for that final word, I guess, that I would say live for you. You only get one life. 100 years from now, none of the things you're worrying about today will matter. So do for you and, make it a good life for everyone by sharing your energy and being true to who you are.
Thank you. That is a beautiful message. And I want to thank you for sharing your life with us. And I cannot wait to see you next month. Wing Wing she'll be here in Columbus. Can I tell people? I'm so excited. I want to take you to
Mm.
all my favorite places. Exactly. And by that, I mean the gym and healthy stuff.
I love it. I'm game. Let's do it.
Okay. And we're going to put you on a GES outfit because Anita is officially my High Rocks athlete now.
I cannot wait for a GES outfit.
Yes, let's do this. Love and light for you. And I do want to say, I feel you, I see you, and I love you, Beta.
Oh, I love you, Pauline. Thank you for your time, energy, and patience today.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.